Good evening. Mike Wade, 13500 Pine. I wanted to thank the Revitalization Committee, Mr. Zorn's a part of, and the members that attended the most recent forum that unfortunately was curtailed or not able to be held the way I'm sure they wanted it to be held due to the lighting going out, the loss of the electricity. I will say though that I was surprised not to have seen more stakeholders at that meeting, and would hope if you have another one scheduled, and do you, sir?
We're going to try to get that done today.
Wonderful. I think that's a very good idea. I know that the families would be looking for more of the stakeholders to be able to be there, answer questions, their concerns, the money aspects, the projection aspects. Mr. Crisbaugh was not able to give his projections at this point. He wanted a couple of weeks to be able to do that, and I hope all the decisions that you're going to be making in the days to come will be based on actual numbers, not numbers that are there just to fit your needs. It was stated a number of times at that forum that the recommendation of the committee was based on 30 in the classroom. And I'll be quite honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I left that meeting and I told the parent next to me, you might want to get that in writing, because I'm not convinced that's exactly what's going to be happening. If we could have students at 30, I'm sure you're going to see remarkable results having classes where the class size is 30 and below instead of the 33 and above. With the building capacities, numbers were thrown out there, projections on being able to move students out of one building to another or buildings to other buildings. I'm concerned about the building capacities and what you think you're going to be able to do with X number of students in those buildings. I would be adamantly opposed, and I'm sure this union would be also, to teachers on carts pushing from room to room and displacing staff members on their prep hour where they use valuable prep time to be able to plan for their classes. If they're doing their planning in their faculty lounge, it makes it very difficult to get work done. Having been there and done both those things, I speak from experience. You talk about teacher cuts, being able to consolidate buildings, and that's a given. We understand that, we know it's going to happen. But I hope you're not looking to balance the budget of the school district on the backs of the TFT. This has been done before. You can go back to the years that Mrs. Van Arloo was here and we had the panel of three decide a 00345 for us that was supposed to get this house back in order. Look to where we are today, coming out of a $19 million deficit when we had a $10 million fund balance. What went wrong, ladies and gentlemen? What went wrong? I would suggest in your consolidating of the classes that you focus on bringing the programs back that have been discontinued over the last number of years. These are things that attract students to a district. It's not all about consolidating high schools and coming up with a fabulous sports program. It's about providing the best education to the students of Taylor that we possibly can. And you don't do that by eliminating programs. I welcome Mr. Williams to the district and hope for a long working relation with him as we move forward.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Motion.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Tillings, support by Mr. Miller, that we close audience participation. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 6-0. Next item, please.
3.01, closed session.
We will go to closed session for the purpose of minutes.
Minutes, negotiations, personnel, attorney opinion.
No litigation too.
No.
Motion.
Support.
I have a motion by Mrs. Stellini and support by Mr. Myers that we go into closed session for the purpose of closed session minutes, negotiations, personnel, and attorney opinion. Any discussion on that? It does require a roll call.
Mr. Lega.
Yes.
Mr. Masters is excused. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney.
Yes.
Mr. Zoni votes yes. Mr. Riley.
Votes yes. That passes 6-0, and we will go into closed session at 6:18.